Welcome back, everybody, to the Road to $10 million series. Today, the portfolio is sitting at about 1.19 million after the market close. And today, I'm just going to be talking about treasury companies specifically. So, I'll just show you one specific crypto treasury company that I'm invested in. So, I'm invested in MetaPlanet right here, and I want to explain to you guys what's happening in the space. Okay, so as you know, the Trump administration is very, very bullish on crypto in general, and basically basically been a bunch of liquidity and money flowing through the space, right? So us as investors, traders, whatever you want to call it, I don't know about you, but I don't really care what the asset is, right? I care about whether it makes money over the long period of time, and whether the value of my assets increase over time, right? So that's how I think about whether I should invest into something or not, right? And so the more money that is being flowing into the crypto assets, you can see over here, year to date here, Ethereum is up 43%, 90-day period is up over 84%, 18%, and you can see everything is green, right? We're finally in like a crypto bull run where, basically everything is green. You can see, right? Majority of the coins here are green, and people are gonna make a lot of money. But at the same time, with a lot of money, there's a lot of risk as well, because crypto is not really a real asset, right? I mean, besides Bitcoin and Ethereum, I don't really know what other coins do at all. So I'm not the type of person who will speculate that hard. But I do kind of understand the Bitcoin story. I don't really understand the Ethereum story, and that's why I'm not invested in it at all. But I just want to kind of explain to you guys what is happening in the space, right? So there's a bunch of companies that are accumulating this asset. So for example, there's Bitcoin treasury companies, and then there's Ethereum treasury companies. And what they basically do, if you know Michael Saylor, Michael Saylor is basically the guy who started MicroStrategy, and then he pivoted his software company into basically buying this Bitcoin right here, and then put it on the balance sheet, and then they're basically gonna increase their Bitcoin holdings, and then the market cap of the company is basically determined by how much Bitcoin they have. That's their entire business model, right? And right now it's sitting at $110 billion in market cap, and this guy has about $77 billion in Bitcoin, right? So people, this MNAV thing, you can see multiple of Bitcoin NAV, right? So NAV stands for net asset value, and then multiple of the MNAV. So they have 1.61 of their Bitcoin holdings, right? So you can see here they have 77 billion, and then the company is worth 110 billion, right? So that's why it's 1.61. All right. So the MNAV is kind of determined, like, it's kind of like the valuation of a company. It's kind of like price to earnings and stuff like that. Okay. So this guy is the biggest dog in the space, and what has been happening is that other people in the space have been starting their own treasury companies. Okay, so there is one called MetaPlanet right here. This one I am personally invested in, so I just want to disclose my shareholding right here. This one is a Japanese Bitcoin treasury company, and if you are not aware, Japan's economy has been stagnant for the past 20 years or so. And so investors don't really have the yield, or they don't really see the returns that they have, even though their companies have been doing well, right? So this Bitcoin treasury company, because Bitcoin is so volatile, like it's literally so volatile. People basically trade this stock right here. Like you can see how much volatility there is. People trade this stock, they go in and out, they make money, and then they don't. And so what you're looking at here is that the valuation of this one is 2.14, and I basically bought it a bit too high, but it's okay. I'm probably gonna hold this for the long term, and then over time, let me just show you what happens, right? What the strategy actually is. So these companies, what they do is they continuously buy the underlying asset. So they buy Bitcoin or they buy Ethereum, right? So this guy, you can see, it just stacks every day. They buy a certain amount of Bitcoin, and they're trying to increase this amount of Bitcoin being bought, right? This will increase their holdings of the Bitcoin. Let me show you. This will increase the holdings of the Bitcoin. You can see over here, and in turn, it will increase the value of the company. That's basically the entire business model. It's actually not difficult at all. There's no profit and loss statement. There's no like what products are we selling. They literally just do one thing, and they do one thing only, right? So some people are going to call this financial engineering, because you're basically you're selling some stocks, or you dilute the shareholder, or you raise capital, for example, and then you go and buy a specific asset and stuff like that. However, the biggest dog in the space is $110 billion in market cap, and this company right here, it's only sitting at about 4.8 billion right here. So in my mind, okay, it's quite simple, it's quite easy for them to 2 to 3x their entire business. They just need to buy more Bitcoin and they need to buy it faster. Okay, so what has happened is that many people in the space, they've started seeing this movement, and they've seen the success of this company and how simple this company is, and then they have started to buy other assets as well. So you can see, for example, Ethereum right here has been skyrocketing in value. If you are on YouTube, you surely know this guy, right? Tom Lee has been, he's basically the chairman of this company right here. So what this guy did is that he started, he's the chairman of this company, BMNR, Bitmine Immersion Technology Companies. And what they do is that instead of buying Bitcoin, they actually buy Ethereum, right? And so they buy Ethereum, the asset, and then they stack it, and then the value of the assets basically increase over time. Yep. So you can see here the stock, when it first, I think it first opened, like it pumped all the way, and then it dropped all the way. So it's actually quite scary or quite volatile. So that's why I'm making this video for caution and just introducing this concept to you guys if you're not familiar. But can you imagine if you put in like $100,000, it goes to from $4 to 107, and then it drops down. It loses basically more than half its value, and then now it's coming back up again. So that's what I mean by volatility. Like, people don't understand. It's like you could lose all your money, and like you have no idea where this is going. But that's why you need to research where or why this company is going to grow over time, right? So you can see here, this headline right here, Ethereum Treasury company plans to issue 20 billion worth of blah 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 to buy more ETH. Yeah, so they want to buy 20 billion, and I believe their entire is to acquire 5% of the world's assets. So they want to be 5% of the Ethereum blockchain, and they're basically trying to become the MicroStrategy of Ethereum. They're trying to hold 3 to 5% of the entire supply of Ethereum. Yep. And then there's a bunch of other companies that are opening up as well. You can see here, this is another one that is Ethereum based, and the price action is very, very similar. It just pumps, and then it goes down. Yeah, so like you could lose your money. Like, you should definitely not, if you're not as how do I say, if you're not risk on, you definitely should not play in this space, because it's very volatile. For me personally, I can tell you, because I want to be transparent, I am down about 23% at this point in time. So I bought mine, I can show you. I bought mine at about 1,300 or so. So I saw it was dipping, and I was like, okay, this is great. There's a bit of margin of safety. So let me go and buy it right here. And then it dipped again, and then I bought, I think about here, and then I bought another one at 1,000 as well. The issue is that it keeps dipping. So I do expect it to dip even further, actually. And like worst case scenario is like it dips to like 500, because I see there's a support level here. It's about 600 or so. So 500 seems to be quite reasonable. Yeah. Yeah. So I do expect that if my holdings actually go like 50%, I will go and buy more. And that's basically the most painful part of the process. It's like, why am I basically buying something that is like continuously dipping? They call it a falling knife. And the reason why is because it's like, fundamentally, the business and the share price is completely detached from reality, right? You need to understand, it's like, when you invest in companies, you need to buy the underlying asset and the fundamentals. And the fundamentals is that this company is continuously trying to increase its Bitcoin. It's very, very consistent in what it does. And personally, I like the CEO a lot. So the CEO and the management team, they are very, very transparent. What this guy, I think this guy is half Japanese, half American, I think. An ex-Goldman Sachs guy. I think he was in derivatives trading or something like that. So it's like, okay, this guy has the background for, in a sense, a financial treasury company, right? And then what he does is basically, he's very, very open about and transparent about the communications. So every time there's a buy, every time there's an issue or whatever, he will always publicly post it on X. And I like that kind of accountability, because I know that if I'm investing money into a company, I know what you're doing with my money. They're actually like improving the situation, they're trying to fix problems, etc., etc. Yeah. So now that we're kind of in a crypto bull run, I do believe that there's still a lot of money to be made. You can see everything is green, right? Like, everything seems to be very frothy and stuff like that. Bitcoin has just reached like all-time highs, right? But if you think about the beginning of the bull cycle, you can see here, in the past, here, right? So this went up and then it went down, and then it went up again, and then this is basically like all-time high category. There's still a lot more runway to go if you actually are looking at previous bull runs, right? I do believe that it may go to 150 and stuff like that. Yep. So to be fair, if you don't believe in Bitcoin, it's totally understandable. But you do need to do your research. I don't really understand Ethereum, so that's why I don't trade it at all. But I saw that Ethereum recently, I mean, after the Genius Act released, like the price action basically went to $4,000, and it basically 4x'd, right? So I'm sure that in a sense, insiders or whatever, or like the Wall Street guys made a ton of money on this trade as well. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you, like, there is a different world out there where these companies that you're trading, or these tickers, right? They're not even related to anything price to earnings, price to sales, revenue, etc. They're completely related to how much Bitcoin or Ethereum that they have, right? So it's a whole different world where price to earnings does not even matter, right? The only things that how do you actually measure the success of a company, right? They call it the MNAV, and then obviously they look at how aggressively you stack your Bitcoin and stuff like that. Yeah. So I made a mistake. I kind of bought too early, but I do believe that this company is the correct company. So I'm just gonna hold it, and yeah, let's see what happens, right? if I lose a ton of money, well, at least you saw it on YouTube, and yeah. So hopefully this position right here, I put in about $100,000 USD. I do believe that this company can go into from 4.8 to like a $20 billion market cap, and so that 100K will basically become 400K. Yeah. All right. So yeah, just letting you know, every time you guys see something new, shiny object and stuff like that, you want to do research into the company. You want to understand who is running the company. Can you trust these people, etc. I trust this guy. Hopefully this guy doesn't prove me wrong. But yeah, then again, it's like it's a game of understanding metrics, understanding how to value companies, and then looking at what are the competitors in the space as well. Okay, so what's happening now is that there is a bubble that's happening. Oh, won't really say it's a bubble, but it's like there are many different companies that are stacking Bitcoin. Okay, so if you go here, if you go to Google, yeah, you can basically go and find all the top companies in the world that are stacking Bitcoin, right? So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like the company that I invested in, you can see the only Japanese company, everybody else is American. So like that's kind of why I invested in it, where it's like this guy is the top company in the Japanese stock exchange for Bitcoin. So if someone's going to allocate capital and they want Bitcoin and they don't want to buy Bitcoin directly, they can buy this company. And yeah, Japan is a big capital market. I think it's about 6.5 trillion in market cap. So yeah, there's still a lot of money to run basically. You can see the rest of the companies here, they're all American companies, right? But how do you actually differentiate? How do you know like this Clean Spark one is better than this one over here? I have no idea, right? So the fact that Japan is different is kind of why I invested, and also I like the CEO a lot, right? This is for Bitcoin Treasury companies right here. You can also do the same for Ethereum. So Ethereum Treasury companies list. I believe there's a tracker. Yeah, I believe so. Hopefully this is it. No. Okay, yeah, sorry, probably this is it. Yeah, so you can see here, Bitmine, the one that I told you about, the one that is backed by Peter Thiel and also backed by Tom Lee. This one over here, they own about 0.953 percentage, almost 1% of the entire Ethereum supply at this point in time. So they have about 5.4 billion. Yeah, and then the rest of the people are here. Yeah, so yeah, so that's kind of my the trade or the thinking of what I'm trying to go for, and I do believe that over the long run, or long run meaning like 3 to 5 years out, like I probably have to wait another 2 years for this trade to actually be successful and stuff like that. But let's see, let's take a look. A lot of these companies I think are actually going to go to shit, because it's going to trade at 1x MNAV and stuff like that. So yeah, it is a competitive space, just like any space where there's money, and so we'll see what happens. But at the same time, it's like, okay, this is like probably the biggest trade in terms of position size that I've actually had. Yeah, but I do sleep well at night knowing that the CEO is doing his job, and yeah, we're not at cost basis yet, but as it goes down, as the price goes down, I will still technically buy more as well. Yeah. So, yep. pray. I believe that the Meta Planet, I think their AGM is on the 1st of September. So yeah, they announces the AGM. No, I believe it's on the 1st of September. So we'll see what happens when they will talk to their shareholders and stuff like that. Yeah. All right. So yep. Just to conclude, there's a thing called Bitcoin Treasury companies, Ethereum Treasury companies, and at the same time, you actually can buy the actual asset itself. You can buy crypto on a crypto wallet, or you can also buy it on an exchange through an ETF and stuff like that. Okay, so personally for me, just letting you know, if you're ever interested, the Bitcoin ETF that I bought is FBTC, so it's by Fidelity. So let me just show you that FBTC over here, and I'll just show you the expense ratio, because the expense ratio is basically how much are you paying to buy this over here. So hopefully that they give the information. Fidelity, yeah, so they charge about 0.25%, just to help you do custodian related stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so yep, just letting you know, there's also an Ethereum ETF. Yeah, so you can see iShares Ethereum Trust ETF. Yep. So if you don't want to open a crypto wallet, you also can buy an Ethereum ETF. Yep. Okay, and I believe their expense ratio it's the same. It's about 0.25 as well. All right. So hopefully you guys have learned something, and yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.